coming here and answering these questions. I guess I want to start off with, can you all tell me what each of you have been working on for this show, and or the multiple things you guys have been working on and sort of your role?
I'm Grimmy. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm one of the stage managers for the show. I work primarily with the actors, and basically my entire job has been making sure that schedules work and that actors have everything that they need and feel supported, and to communicate between them and Annie, and just making sure that everything from the actor side of things runs relatively smoothly.
Hi, I'm Will, and originally I was an actor and also working on tech. However, due to things in real life, sadly I had to switch over to tech because of complications. Here I am now and I'll be editing videos. I'm looking forward for that workload.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm doing the editing for OSP, the 12 Nights. I'm editing the show together. I basically am putting everything together. That's my job.
Hello, my name is Angela Bouchard. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am a third-year illustration student. I am working on the illustration part with a friend, Erica, in the class. And I am working on the cards for the class as well as the artwork for the promotional portion of the play.
Hello, I'm Erica Canero. I'm also working on the illustration portion of everything, from the poster to little drawings on the cards that we're creating with Angela. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am a third-year illustration major.
Hi, I'm Morgan Uvenia. I have been helping with tech along with Heidi. Most of our work is in post-production, where we'll be captioning the show, and I am a expressive arts therapy student.
Hi, I'm Heidi. Pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm in tech, and I mostly work with Morgan on we look for sound and stuff, and soon maybe editing some film.
Hi, I'm Callahan. I'm the music director for this production, and I've just helped with the sound effects and helping all the other students get their vocal performances on the music.
Cool. Well, it's nice to meet all of you and get to know what you're doing. So what has it been like teching as we live in this extremely technological age right now, because obviously we can't be together because of the pandemic? What has that been like? 'Cause I know tech is usually, it's such a strong group and you guys are all in person. What's been some of the highs and lows and differences having tech online?
I can start this. So for a regular production, editing is not a thing. It's all in person, it's live, maybe a recording after, but that's kind of way post-production. So for me, it's been a whole new world of editing and just getting everyone's voices recorded and all the videos. It's been very different. It's been good different. But yeah, it's been quite the experience, but I'm glad I was able to be part of it.
I know for a fact when we start getting into the workload of editing, it will be quite difficult and time-consuming, especially listening through audio and multiple takes. If we have multiple takes, I haven't gotten to take a look yet. It's going to be a bit of a workload, and hopefully it all pays off. I'm looking forward for editing.
I think since my entire role was just coordination of the actors, it was definitely a little bit like herding cats at times. Just very difficult trying to coordinate everyone's schedules and make sure that it worked for everybody, just because of the way that everyone's schedules shook out, with people having their own responsibilities at homes and like classes being scheduled at weird times and not being in the same place. We basically didn't run the show in order until we actually recorded it this past weekend. We had to run it completely out of order in Act 1, Scene 2, and then Act 3, Scene 5, both on Monday night, completely out of order back to back, just because that's how it shook out. So that was definitely very, very challenging. I think the coordination piece would have been easier if we were in person.
Sounds kind of insane having to switch that mindset. But I'm really excited to see what all of you do with everything because, it's a very exciting thing for OSP because they're always live shows and this is such a unique experience. So that's really cool that all of you have been working on it. Can you guys talk about the community that you guys have created? And maybe if you guys have any memorable moments whenever you're in production, there's definitely those times where you'll do something and you'll be like, oh my gosh, that was so dumb, or something wasn't going to plan, or sometimes there's just great moments that are completely improvised, even through tech. So I'm curious to know all of those stories.
Gribby making sure everyone gives her their schedule. I remember that almost every class where it's like, guys, I need your schedule. Come on, I need it, please. And even when it's past the due date and no one gave her schedules, it's like, come on, guys, really? But all the people that I worked with so far, they have been wonderful people. And, hopefully we'll get to see each other in person at some point or another. But right now we all have to stay away 6 feet apart, wearing masks and poking sticks to make sure that they stay 6 feet away. It's been wonderful.
I think I definitely remember during one of my many scheduling rants at the beginning of rehearsal, I was giving other notes, and I was like, all right, does anyone have any questions? And then one of the actors was like, Grimmy, you need to be meaner to us. Like, you're the nicest stage manager we've had. Why are, all stage managers are supposed to be mean. You're not mean enough for this. And I'm like, well, you haven't given me a reason to be mean to you yet. And then I had to clarify that by saying, now don't go making my job harder so I can start being meaner to you. Just make my job easier. But I've never been told that I was too nice in an authoritative role. So that was definitely an interesting criticism to receive.
I've personally loved all the tiny moments of getting to witness a show come together, from Grimmy herding cat actors, and Cal's little music intros, and we got to witness Victoria's editing magic the other day. It's all been so wonderful to see that even if we're apart, we're all creating this big, beautiful, magical thing. And so I love that sincerely.
I think it's been a really fun part listening to what everybody's working on, how they're doing things, even if they show us a clip or two of music. I think it's very exciting to see everything coming together. Working on the art and thinking about how it would look or how this will be implemented is really important, and I think it's really motivating to see it all come together in the end. I look forward to it.
Only sad thing is we can't all be together to share that glass of champagne or whatever. Like, we did it, yeah.
For me, this is more because I've been doing a lot of my work by myself, and it was just kind of really exciting. Before I even brought the idea to the table of we're doing the hip hop thing, I was just having some struggles with making the regular form of it, or whatever you want to call it. And I was just like, you know what, I'm going to make a Shakespeare hip hop beat today. And I made it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of whack. And then I listened to it a few hours later, and I was like, I like this a little bit. And then I made another. It was just surprising. And I would have never gotten that without participating in this production. I can only thank everybody else in the production and this whole thing and everybody trying for that. So thank you.
I'd also like to say a lot of this, like Cal said, I've been doing this on my own. In a way, I've been lonely in a good way, but seeing everyone come together, especially for the recording we did for the entire play, was so cool to see, and seeing everyone's little, what they're doing. I never personally faced Grimmy's Wrath, but every time I hear it, I love hearing about it. But yeah, it's been a great experience.
Honestly, I'm just genuinely excited to see what all of you do with this show, because everything that I've been hearing so far, and I've already interviewed a lot of the actors, and it sounds like so much fun. And when Dr. Pluto had mentioned about the music, about hip hop Shakespeare, and I got so excited about it, whatever you guys do with it, it'll be super cool. So, kind of going off of that, a lot of you have kind of talked about how you guys have been working on your own, because a lot of these projects are more solo activities. What are some creative solutions you guys have had to come up with? What has been things that you've learned because of having to work on such a tight schedule, especially with all these videos and with the show coming up very soon?
I wasn't really expecting such a early deadline as of April 1st. It almost feels like they're trying to pull a prank on us and hopefully say, the deadline's actually this day. But I feel like that's not true, and I wasn't expecting it to be this quick, but time flies when you're having fun making the 12th night play online.
This might sound like a very basic one, but just making sure that I am extra communicative with all of the actors and constantly saying, like, if you need anything, like, if you have any concerns, then you need to talk to me. And just making clear that, like, I can't help if you don't tell me what the problems are. My whole role is to make sure that if you're having a problem, I take care of it. So, like, you need to let me know, and just being very upfront and just essentially mothering all of the actors and making sure, again, that just everything is taken care of and everyone is, like, comfortable within their roles. I think it's interesting because my role still is definitely within the realm of tech, but it's also I was the opposite of lonely. I was never not around the actors and never not making sure that all of our T's have been crossed and I's have been dotted, just to make sure that we have at least on that end, so that a lot of the things that were going through my head was making sure that this doesn't just work for them, but it also isn't a nightmare for other tech people in terms of editing. So, like, making sure, do you have your bios in? Do you have your pictures in? These are the dates we're recording. I need you to show up on time. Honestly, a lot of communication. I'm sure they will not miss my constant deluge of weekly emails reminding them of all the things that they need to take care of so that we can have a functional show.
I would also like to say, just the actors also, along with that, just all of the actors coming together and recording everything. It was a great experience. In terms of creative things we had to do, some actors couldn't make it some days and some actors couldn't make it some other days, so we had to record separately, and we're going to put it together in the end. So that's kind of like a creative way of going around it. We'd even have to record some lines over, and then we just pop it in, and thank God it's a radio show, so you don't even have to worry about the video. It's been great to work with the actors. I didn't work with them that much throughout the production, but when the recording came, it was really nice.
I think this semester was so much fun, even though everyone's like online. And then like now we're already like halfway through the semester. It's almost April, so we all have to get our like film done, recording done. Like also a shout out to like Grimmy for keeping all of us like on track and stuff. You are the mom to like our class, so we're all really thankful for you.
I also have a more fun question that I'm, personally just curious about, because this is Shakespeare. I'm curious, what is if you have one, your favorite Shakespeare play or like production?
I was also in part of the actors interview, and I said this there, and I'll say it again now. Leo DiCaprio's Romeo and Juliet is probably my favorite actual Shakespeare thing, but then an offshoot of that is I love West Side Story, so probably those, definitely.
I think my favorite production, or one of Shakespeare's stories, would probably be Macbeth. Very much like the idea of fate happening, even if you're trying to prevent it, or making it happen in the end.
I was initially just going to say I really second you, Grimmy, in terms of the love of West Side Story. That has been a show that I've grown up with. And so I love looking at it and thinking about it, even though it is a little problematic, a lot of problematic. But in terms of Shakespearean works, my heart really goes to The Tempest. It was the first Shakespeare production / first production that I had ever been involved with. When I was in high school, a sort of like older mentor figure of mine asked me to do costume work for her production. And so it was just like an opportunity for me to come out of my shell and do creative work. And I'm like endlessly thankful for that.
For me, I do love West Side Story. I also love Hamlet in terms of Lion King. But I would have to say a lot of my favorite Shakespeare plays are kind of the darker ones, like Othello and King Lear. I don't know, there's something about it that I'm like, ooh, this is kind of spooky and I like it.
My favorite is definitely super basic, but I just love Romeo and Juliet. It's like my favorite thing ever. I just love how a lot of romance stories since then have been just molded onto that. I just like it a lot. Be very simple about it.
I think I would also go for Romeo and Juliet because like one of the first like Shakespeare play I ever read and is one of the most famous Shakespeare play that's known around the world.
Yeah, those are great answers. And I agree with all of you. I have such a hard time picking a favorite because mine changes constantly. But I wanted to ask, what has been your favorite part of OSP? And what do you think everyone else can look forward to for this great and amazing show that you guys are putting together?
What I really loved about OSP was how hands-on it is. When I first talked to Dr. Pluto and I was like, hey, I'd really be interested in joining and helping in whatever you need, I didn't expect to get as much responsibility almost. I didn't expect to get trusted as much as I did, which is a good thing. And it really gave me a lot of experience, and I can now put this down on my resume even. And I just really appreciated how hands-on it is and how not that it's a lot of work, but to have the experience behind me.
I really loved the opportunity to make this production our own. I remember sort of wandering into the class a week late and being like, I don't know what's happening. Annie really helped me out there. And I always think about accessibility and the need for inclusivity in any project. And so when I was like, well, what are we going to do about making this accessible for folks who like can't hear? Annie was like, oh, you want to add captions? Like, let's add captions. And helping me find the resources for getting that done. I really loved being able to propose an idea and like watch it happen.
I feel especially lucky to be able to have experienced both seeing the actors grow and learn and become these characters, and also see the tech side of things come together behind the scenes, and getting to have a hand in both of them and be a bridge between both of them. That's been really cool and really exciting, and I really can't wait to listen to our final production. And my parents have been asking about it a bunch. My girlfriend has been asking about it a bunch. My brother actually like works in radio and he does a lot of sound editing, and so he's been very excited to hear a fully auditory version of Shakespeare. He's really excited about that, so I can't wait to show it to him.
One of my favorite parts was, well, working with the other actors. They were all wonderful people. Working with everyone, I think that was one of my favorite parts, getting to know people.
My favorite part of this is definitely just being able to put out your idea and let it take form in its full legitimacy is just really exciting. And I was able to do that, and that was really invigorating. Considering our times and everything, being able to do that and like be creative and work with what we have was kind of really exciting.
My favorite part is how it's so different this semester. Usually like everyone's in person on the stage, and now we're all online at home. Now we have to film everything and edit it, so it's really different, which I really like.
I would say my favorite part coming into this class, there were options about what you wanted to do, and again, it's not in person. But I think it was really cool that as an illustrator and in the illustration field, there was a place for me as well. It's also just doing everything that I love, drawing, working with my tablet, working with people, and, working with different ideas and putting it all together really makes a big difference. And I've really enjoyed it so far. I do wish we were in person, but if this is what we have, then it's what you got to do.
Thank you guys so much for answering my questions. That's about all I have for you. But from all the editing and the sound and the art and all of your hard work, I wish you guys the best, and I'm very excited to see what you guys, come up with.
Thank you so much.
It was a wonderful time being interviewed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.